Welcome. My name is Ross Clark, the Mindful Coach, and this is a little micro course on how to deal with anxiety. In order to work with anxiety or any strong emotion, it's good to keep it simple. So research has shown that there's a rule of three where we don't hold anything more in the mind or in the brain than three things at one time. So this is very effective for us to know whenever we're dealing with anxiety. There are various ways of doing this. Here's three possible ways that work well, and there's additional ways too that we can use. So first is to name it, second is to claim it, and then the third is to move it. So to better explain that, in mindfulness we have the mindfulness triangle. We have in the triangle we have attention, so that's a full attention. It's clear, it's non-judgmental. It just recognizes the mood that's there or the emotion, just bare awareness. So we might say that that is objectively just naming it. The second part of the mindfulness triangle is the intention. So the intention is always clear, it's distinct, it's carrying intention, and it's wise. So the third aspect of the triangle then would be specific, to do something. So if we just stay in an area here where we're not fully attentive, we're unclear, what will happen is we'll get rumination, and that can be shown down here. This is rumination. There's thoughts that are being generated which cause an emotion to arise. The more thoughts that arise, the stronger the emotion, and the stronger the emotion, the more thoughts that arise. So this would be a case where we were not fully aware and the intention was not clear. Now, if we shift over to this is the model that we are going to recognize. So the attention's full, there is awareness of anxiety, and we know that it's causing this emotion. So this is where the intention is. The intention is to be aware of it, but the intention is to change it, to have a specific action. So that's where we start to move our attention to various parts of our body to break up this cycle, this rumination. So again, just to say that this would be the problem and this would be the solution. And we see that it's fundamental, and we all have this ability to pay attention, to have an intention, and then to choose a specific action. So how that works out is we would start with naming it, and the naming of it is very objective. So it's just, there is anxiety. We might be feeling it in our tummy, so we don't think about it, we just name it. There is anxiety. The second stage is to claim it. Rather than the mind running off and ruminating that this person is causing me all this anxiety, we just claim it because this is my anxiety. Now we can do something about it because now we own it. The third stage and the last stage is moving it. So what that means is we ground ourselves. So this is the stage where we're going to take that attention with a specific action, and we're going to stop and drop. We're just going to stop the overthinking and drop our attention into the body, and we're going to choose our toes first, to just move our toes, gently move our toes as we breathe in and we name there is anxiety. Again, just breathing in, this is my anxiety, and just curling the toes, feeling the toes, and knowing that we're safe and grounded. If the anxiety continues on, then what we do is we go back to our naming. There is anxiety, and again, claiming it. There's nothing wrong with anxiety. There's really nothing wrong with feeling it if we have something that we can do about it, and it's actually there to help us and to teach us. And then the third stage would be the moving. So this again is the grounding. The fingers are always safe, the toes are always safe places for us to ground. So we would ground ourselves. Again, this is this process here of grounding, stopping and dropping our attention to break up these anxiety loops. If the anxiety is still there, then what we can do is we can move on again to objectively naming it. there is anxiety, and oftentimes we don't have to go to these second or third. Sometimes just noting it, there is anxiety, will let it pop just like a soap bubble. If that doesn't happen, then we still have 2 more steps that we can always choose, and that would be claiming, may my anxiety be well. We know that anxiety is caused by fear, and also the antidote to fear is love. So when we care about the anxiety, that helps to weaken it. It knows that it's being cared for, cared about, and also the intention to ground is also another caring intention. So that comes back to how important intention is, that this intention be clear, and that we have this quality of caring, this feeling tone of I care about my anxiety. And then we have a very important aspect of it is that we do take a specific action, which is moving our attention, feeling our toes, curling our toes, feeling our toes and fingers, curling them, and again curling our toes and our fingers and our tongue, pressing our tongue against the hard texture of our teeth. That is also another excellent way to ground. Now, these grounding practices can be done in any posture. They can be done while we're walking, they can be done while we're standing, they can be done while we're laying. So these are always acceptable for us. So what we do is we practice and practice and practice, because the more we practice, the more we remember that we remember that this is what we can do. There's always something we can do about the anxiety. Now, it may take time because there could be a lot of adrenaline and cortisol that has come into the bloodstream. So over the course of maybe a maximum of 10 minutes, highly likely that we're going to have our anxiety reduced down to a normal level again. So I'd like to thank you for your interest. And if you'd like to know more, or you'd like to look at a free copy of our mindfulness-based stress reduction training, which is the University of Massachusetts program, we have that available, and you can find that on the link that we'll be putting above this. So once again, thank you, and we just like to help. There's also the professional full course if you think that might be of benefit. Thank you.